Welcome back for day 4 of 10 solos in 10 days. Today we've got a killer prog thrash metal solo from Dave Davidson of Revocation, one of my favorite metal guitarists. This is from the song Strange and Eternal off their latest album Netherhaven. So let's get into it. This song is tuned down a half step. Now I'm doing this on a 7-string. A lot of the rhythm parts use a 7-string, but the solo itself is just on 6 strings. So you could do this on a 6-string guitar in E flat standard. All the theory I'm going to talk about is related to this half step down tuning. So if I say E minor, for example, it's actually heard as E flat minor because everything is down a half step. I'm used to dealing with standard tuning when it comes to theory, so it's a little bit easier for me to talk about it that way. Just keep in mind, anything I'm saying is really heard a half step down from where I'm talking about it. There's 2 sections to this solo. The first half is this thrashy part, and the second half is more fusion-inspired. The thrash section is just 2 chords back and forth, and they aren't really being played as chords. It's just a riff underneath. It's C, and then E. And the C is C Lydian dominant, and this is happening in these upper notes. C Lydian dominant is the 4th mode of melodic minor. Lydian with a flat 7. And then the E is just straight up E minor. And there's only 1 note different between these 2 scales. You have a B flat in C Lydian dominant, and a B natural in E natural minor. So we're going to kind of see that happen within the solo. The solo starts with this run in E minor. Right out of the E natural minor scale, and there's a lot of triplets here. Actually, there's a lot of triplets in the entire solo. Most of the fast runs are done as triplets. And that's pretty cool because a lot of metal solos have 16th note runs happening. Some of the ones I'm covering in this series, for example, have a lot of 16th notes. But all the fast runs here are triplets, really good for practicing some of your triplet feel. So it's worth doing just for that for a lot of these licks. Over the C Lydian dominant here. There's that B flat, and then we have this run, which then lands on the E minor. And this part's actually right from E natural minor there too. So he's kind of hinting at the natural minor before it actually happens. We have a G major 7 arpeggio down the scale. And then here over the E minor, you have this open string idea. And then some more triplet scale runs. And then right to the C Lydian dominant. It's that B flat again, really highlighting the differences between these 2 scales. Lands on the sharp 4 there, very cool. And then we have this run to end off the first half of the solo. And that is an E half diminished arpeggio, or an E minor 7 flat 5 played over this C. This is a really common thing to do in jazz and fusion, and actually Dave Davidson is a killer jazz guitarist. I've seen some clips of him playing jazz, which is very impressive. But this is something I would do in like a bluesy context too sometimes, or in jazz, to play a half diminished arpeggio built off the 3rd of a dominant 7 chord. And it leads perfectly to the next half of the solo. And this is the shape that I would teach, or one of the first shapes I would teach for playing a 7th arpeggio, a half diminished arpeggio. Very good shape. So the whole first half of the solo slowly is like this. The second half of this solo is built off a chord progression that happened earlier in the song. I'm not sure if I'd call it the pre-chorus or the chorus, but it's this idea. It's B flat Lydian for 4 bars. Very modal in nature. And then 2 measures of F sharp minor, sharp minor 9, F sharp minor, and then 2 measures of F Lydian. So that's the chord progression here. Really interesting, cool modal progression. And he's going to kind of hint at all of that throughout this part of the solo. There's the first part, this interesting sliding idea. And And then comes the most difficult lick in the entire solo. It looks like this. And that lick happens over all three of these modes. He's weaving between them within this one big lick. Very cool way to do this. So he starts in B flat Lydian to F sharp minor, F sharp minor, F Lydian. And that's my favorite part there at the end. We have this scale sequence. And in the middle of it, it switches keys. It's a really nice way to play through these changes. And this last part of the solo is over that same chord progression again. So on B flat Lydian, then to the F sharp minor, have this rising 3-note pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Triplets. Tremolo picking. With some sliding, which is a really nice sound. And that note there is your 5th of the F sharp minor. On F sharp minor, he's doing this. Some little runs. And then on F Lydian, he's doing an A minor 7 arpeggio. A minor 9, essentially playing off the 3rd of F again. So he's building a minor 7 arpeggio off the 3rd of F, which is A. Once again, this kind of minor 7 shape, similar to that we saw earlier, that same sort of structure of arpeggio, one that I would do fairly often myself. There's some of this open sound too, almost more pentatonic in nature. In fact, that whole last measure is just right out of A minor pentatonic. And it ends on the note A. The chord that happens at the end when it goes into the next section is a D, like a D7 with the 13, like D13, something like that. So he's playing the 5th of D, landing on that. Really cool end to the solo. So the whole second half of the solo looks like this. This is an absolutely awesome solo. Dave puts together some of the best metal solos out there. I think there's a lot you can learn from them. I've learned some other Revocation solos in the past, and every time I do, there's so many things that I kind of grab from it in the way that it's structured, the chords, the ideas, the technique, all of that. So definitely worth spending some time learning a few of these licks and trying to incorporate them into your own playing. So I'll be back tomorrow for day 5 of 10 solos in 10 days. If you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe, hit the bell notification, like, comment, share, all of that. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, stay proggy.